We'll always be friends, she said softly, like she was doing me a favor. It was raining that evening. Of course it was. Breakups seemed to demand dramatic weather. We were sitting in her car outside my apartment, engine off, wipers still moving across a windshield that didn't need them anymore. I just feel like we've grown apart, Maya continued. You're amazing, truly. I just don't feel the spark. The spark. 3 years together, and it came down to a spark. I looked at her carefully. She avoided eye contact. Is there someone else? I asked calmly. She hesitated just a fraction too long. No, she said. That tiny pause told me everything. I nodded once. Okay, she looked surprised. That's it? What did you expect? I asked. I thought you'd fight for us. I almost smiled. I did, I said quietly. For 3 years. Silence settled between us. Then she reached for the final line. But we'll always be friends, right? There it was. The safety net. The emotional backup plan. The, I don't want you, but I don't want to lose you either. I leaned back and met her eyes. Absolutely. She blinked, clearly expecting resistance. Really? Of course, I replied evenly. Friends. Her shoulders relaxed. She kissed my cheek before leaving. You're such a good guy. I watched her taillights disappear down the street, and that was the last time I treated her like my girlfriend. The next morning, I removed her from my pinned chats, muted her social media, not blocked, not dramatic, just adjusted. Friends, after all. 2 days later, she texted, Hey, just checking in. I replied 6 hours later, Doing good. Hope you are too. No emojis, no warmth, no extra questions. A week after that, I saw the real reason for the breakup. Instagram, a photo of her at a rooftop bar with him, Arjun. The coworker she said was just annoying but harmless. Caption, new vibes. I stared at the photo for maybe 10 seconds, then closed the app. Friends, right? She messaged that night. I hope you're not mad. Why would I be? I replied. Well, about the post. You're single, I said. You can post whatever you want. That unsettled her, I could tell. Are you seeing anyone? She asked. Not focusing on that, I replied. Working on myself, which was true. I started waking up at 6 a.m. gym, reading, meeting old friends I had neglected during the relationship. I stopped checking her profile, stopped replaying old memories, stopped caring about her online breadcrumbs. 3 weeks later, she called. I let it ring once before answering. Hey, her voice sounded different, less confident. Can we talk? We are talking. I mean, properly. I sighed softly. About what? Us. There it was. Apparently the spark with Arjun had short-circuited. What about us? I asked calmly. I think I made a mistake. I didn't respond immediately. Silence makes people reveal more. He's not what I thought, she rushed on. You were stable, safe. I didn't realize how rare that is. Safe, stable, not loved, not desired, not chosen. You said we'd always be friends, she continued carefully, but you feel distant. We are friends, I said evenly. This is how I treat my friends. That hit. I didn't mean like that, she said. How did you mean? She struggled for words. I thought we'd still be close. Close like before? Yes. You ended that, I reminded her gently. Another silence. I miss you, she whispered. I looked out the window at the city lights. It was strange, hearing the words I once craved, and feeling nothing. You miss the version of me that stayed, I said quietly. That's not fair. It is, I replied. Because when you left, I respected your decision. You didn't fight. You didn't want me to. She had no answer for that. I thought you'd chase me, she admitted finally. Honesty at last. And if I had? I asked. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't have left. I nodded slowly. So you needed proof I valued you? Yes. I valued you enough to let you choose. Her breathing grew shaky. I thought you'd wait. For what? For me to come back. There it was, the safety net theory confirmed. I don't wait in doorways, I said calmly. If someone walks out, I lock it. She started crying quietly. I was confused. You were curious, I corrected gently. That's harsh. No, I said. It's accurate. Weeks ago, I would have begged for this conversation. Now it just felt delayed. Can we try again? She asked softly. I closed my eyes briefly. 3 years, memories, plans, future talks, and then one rainy night where she said she didn't feel a spark. I don't hate you, I said honestly. That's not what I asked. I know. Silence stretched between us again. I learned something when you left, I continued. Love isn't proven by chasing. It's proven by staying. I'll stay, she said quickly. You already left. She inhaled sharply. So that's it? That's it. More crying. I thought we'd always be something. We are, I said gently. A lesson. The call ended shortly after. No screaming, no insults, just closure. A few days later, she texted again. I made the biggest mistake of my life. I read it, didn't respond, because sometimes the most powerful reply isn't words, it's silence. She said we'd always be friends after dumping me. I agreed, and I treated her exactly like one. Weeks later, when she begged, she expected the old version of me, the one who would trade dignity for a second chance. But breakups don't just end relationships, they change people. And the version of me she left behind, he didn't exist anymore.